Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. I'm just on this morning. I'm going to do a little video. I had a young man email me and ask me about how do I upsize patterns. And I know I've had emails from this young man before. His name's, I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce his name, Matthias or Matthias. I'm just reading the name on the thing. I think it might be Matthias, and he was asking about how to upsize patterns because he's a large size. I know he told me he was a 46 chest, and a lot of patterns he had they didn't go that far. So he was asking some help on how he could upsize a pattern. And this was a little while ago. I haven't had time to do the video before for him. So if you're watching Matthias, this is what I'm going to tell you now. And the only thing I can tell you really is I work out a lot of patterns, how to the sizes myself, because a lot of patterns I've got and a lot of patterns I've seen I don't like how they come out. Somehow they're just, not all patterns come out perfect, and so I like to work out my own. But anyway, I've got this pattern here. This was a pattern I've had for a lot of years. I think I knit this for my husband when I was first married, and I was married in 1967, so that'll probably tell you how old this pattern is. And he loved this pattern, my husband. The size goes up to a 46 anyway. It was okay. My husband was a 44, so this was okay for him. But I'm going to tell, well, Matthias anyway, that how I would have upsized this if he was any larger than the 46. But first, it's double knitting. So if you're doing this pattern, you probably need to do, well, I do a swatch most times before I do anything, because not all double knitting wool knits up the same. But most of the double knitting swatches that I do, they all usually come out 5.5 inches, 5.5 stitches to the inch, or 11 stitches to 2 inches. That's usually how the gauge works out on most of the double knitting that I use, and on my tension, that's how it works out. So this pattern here, I'll probably need my phone for to add up on. It's a long time since I was at school. Close it and I'll get the calculator. That's it. Right. Now this size, like I said, it goes up to a 46, and for the back it says it's back to 126 inches, but it's increased on the last row of the rib to 134 stitches. So each size, it starts from a 38 and goes up to a 46, and each size has 110 stitches, then it goes up to 116 stitches, so that's 6 stitches between, and then 122 for the next size, that's another 6 stitches. Then it goes up to 128, that's another 6 stitches. It's a bit of a tongue twister that. Then 128 to 134, that's another 6 stitches. So this pattern is increasing each size by 6 stitches. So that's half a stitch more than what my tension works out at. But that's correct because even though it measures 46, the size would be 46, but would actually measure a little bit more when it was finished. And you need that little bit extra because nobody has a thing to fit perfect unless you like it that way. And you also lose a little bit on the sides when you do when you sew up the seams. So you do need a little bit more than that. So the size is six stitches every size is about right. So the 46 size is 134 stitches. So I would add 6 stitches to that and make it 140. I don't need my calculator for that, I can work that out okay. and then it would go on to the, as you can see, this is a raglan. You can see the raglan seam there going up. And this one, with those extra 6 stitches, but to do the raglans, I would do the raglans as it says in the pattern, but where you would do, see, the first, maybe it's the first 4 rows, only increase the once. I would do 8 rows and increase on the 4th row, and then on the 8th row, and then every other row after that. That would make up a couple of extra rows for the armholes, because with the larger size it's bound to be a little bit larger on the from the armhole up to the up to the neck. And then when you got up to the end, to the stitches for the back of the neck, this is it tells you to cast off 46 stitches. Yes, 46 stitches for the 46 size. Well, I've taken off. I might cast off an extra 2 stitches at the start as well. So it'll be, instead of, this one says cast off 2 stitches at each end for the armholes. I would say cast off 3. So that would make it, and then that would be 46, it would be 46, 52, that would leave 50 stitches. So we'd probably be left with about 50 stitches. This pattern here has, what you're left with is 38, 40, 42, 44 and 46. So you only want to be left with 48 stitches. So I would decrease one extra row on the way up to the neck, so that you'd be left with 48 stitches then, and then cast off those 48 stitches. And that's how I'd work out the back. And the same with the sides, you would work those extra stitches up, like the decreasing, instead of every other row, start with every 4th row twice, and so on up till you get to the neck. And for the sleeves, the sleeves have, for each size is 56, 58, 60, 62 and 64. So the sleeves is adding 2 stitches to every size. So it's 64 for a 46, so you'd want 66 for a 48. And then it's so on with the knitting up the armholes. You would work straight up the sleeve seam until you get to, we're going to find the stitches, until the last size is 96. But the sizes are going up in 4 stitches for the sleeve. So you start with 80, there's 84, 88, 92, 96. So for the sleeve, you would want to knit until you had 100 stitches, and then work out the decreasing to match the back, where it says cast off 2 stitches. Like I said, I would cast off 3 stitches for the armhole, and work straight like 4 rows before you decrease, and then 8th row, and then you do that 2 or 3 times until you end up with, where I'm seeing on the pattern, oh, this one doesn't tell me how many stitches I end up with. Oh no, so it's repeat last 2 rows until there's 18 stitches, and then you do another 1, 2, 3. That's another 3 decreasing rows, so that's another 6 stitches off that 18. So you're going to end up with, so you want 12 stitches left on the needle. And that's how I, as best as I can tell you, Matthias, how you work out the upsizing a pattern. So I hope that's helpful. But that's the best, because I just work out as I'm going. I just knit and I work out how many rows myself and how many I think I need and that. So if this is helpful to you, I'll be happy. And like I said, this is the pattern I'm doing, the decrease. And there's not many, you actually don't see many men with cardigans these days. Maybe it's the older men, but in my day, my young day, when my husband was alive, when he was young and that, he used to like these kind of things, these cardigans. Even into old age, you wore them all his life, these type of things. But I don't have these large sizes to knit anymore since he passed away. But I'm doing a large one for a lady at the moment, like, so it's keeping me hand in, like. So if you like my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll give you some other little tips sometime. So bye for now.